5, a mystery solved.
You heard your voice.
You okay?
Something just touched my ankle.
For real?
I swear to God.
While regarded as a scary subject, not all ghosts mean harm. In fact, there are many wanting to help those that are still living. During the investigation of Peabody Whitehead Mansion in Denver, Colorado, the crew learned of the dark history of the building and the man who used to own it. People have been pushed up against walls, felt a dark presence, and have had sudden changes in emotions due to the strange inhabitants who cannot leave. While researching the mansion, the crew were told about a woman who was allegedly barraged by a construction crew and then buried in the concrete walkway outside. Unable to find any evidence, they decide to question any of the spirits residing there if they know anything. During a spirit box session in the basement, they came into a ghost who identified as Pete. After some simple discussion, Zach asked, "I want you to tell me what happened to a girl down here." The team continued to ask questions. Zach asked if the spirit witnessed what happened. The response in the same voice stated, "It is violent here." Determined to get further information, Zach asked Pete where she was buried, with Pete instantly replying, "Street." Zach went to investigate the back end of the basement, and without asking any questions, a voice came through the spirit box again saying, "Found it." The ghost then claimed one of the members was scared, and when asked who, a female voice replied, "Brendan."
Just said he's scared.
I just heard her say he's scared.
Tell me who you said is scared. What's his name?
Brendan.
Brendan!
Referring to guest Brendan Chauvet of UFC fame. Later, the crew left Brendan alone in the basement, and clearly the spirits were attracted to him in some way. He felt someone touch his ankle, and also heard a series of strange noises around him. Zach revealed at the end of the episode, they contacted Denver police about their findings on this mysterious woman, and authorities were given copies of the tape in order for them to analyze for themselves. For all we know, the spirit of Pete could have finally solved a crime, so desperately needing closure. Number 4. Demons of the Silo. Haunted house attractions are meant to give a scare, to be fun, not to traumatize guests with real evil spirits. The Fear Factory in Salt Lake City first began operation as a cement factory before becoming a Halloween funhouse. However, strange occurrences have been tormenting the employees there since the attraction first opened, separated into different themed silos. One particular silo has been the spot of the most activity, which includes shadows running across the ceilings and disembodied voices. The biggest mystery of the Fear Factory is an employee of the silo named Chris, who found a satanic Bible in the building, with nobody knowing how it got there. Much to the dismay of his co-workers, he began reading verses from the book over the speakers. It was soon after some of the more horrific events began to happen within the attraction. Before the lockdown, Billy and Jay were setting up when Jay heard strange noises coming from the tunnels. Right as Jay went to hand Billy the headphones so he could hear, the tunnel camera went out, leaving the visual gone. Once Billy places the headphones on, the audience is now able to hear a strange scratching sound, rather loud and sounding as if something with long nails is crawling around down there.
Camera 4 is out. Holy man.
Billy rushes out to investigate, but finds nothing there that could be making the noises, nor could have interfered with the equipment. The tunnels were quiet once Billy entered the tunnels. Near the end of the night, the team had Chris return to read verses from the Satanic Bible in the silo, this time in complete darkness. Almost immediately, Chris and Aaron feel the atmosphere change within the silo, becoming cold and unwelcoming. The EVP recorder managed to capture a disturbing recording after he paused reading. Aaron can be seen reacting to this and states he hears something growling and talking. Due to concerns for Chris's and Aaron's safety, the crew decided to end the session early. Number 3. The Brick.
Is that you making all the noise? Holy oh my god!
From the very beginning, Ghost Adventures has seen all sorts of terrifying events. The show started off as a TV documentary for the Sci-Fi Channel back in 2007. For their first investigation, the crew ventured to Virginia City, Nevada for 4 investigations of the haunted town. The crown jewel of the area is the Goldfield Hotel in nearby Goldfield. Throughout the investigation, Nick and Zach captured various noises on their recorders and even some shadows moving intelligently. They later went to investigate the basement, where several loud noises were heard as they journeyed deeper into the depths of the hotel. Zach asked, "Is that you making all the noise?" when a brick suddenly flew from the ground across the room.
So in my opinion, that it doesn't look like it's been tampered with. It looks like that something threw this brick.
Terrified, Nick and Zach frantically ran from the basement, only to become separated in the chaos. Zach desperately called out for Nick as he searched the rooms, while Nick stood frozen in fear. Just before the footage ends, Zach hears a girl whimpering in front of him, followed by a loud bang.
Hey, Nick!
Later, Zach explains he found Nick in a daze, and the two ended up jumping from a second-story fire escape in order to exit the hotel. The event is by far the most famous in Ghost Adventures history, having such a major impact on the crew. They have visited the hotel a further 2 more times. Each time, they capture more compelling evidence than before. Number 2. Povalia's Restless.
Hold on.
Of all the asylums in the world, none have as dark a history of Povalia Island in Venice, Italy. As the story goes, it was once a dumping ground for those infected by the plague, where they were left to waste away, quarantined from the rest of society. Hundreds of thousands are said to have passed away and been burned there in order to prevent the spread of the sickness. Centuries later, it was converted into an insane asylum before ceasing operation in 1968. Zach and Nick described their desire of investigating this island as their dream since they first met, and they were far from disappointed after. Things took a serious turn early in the investigation after Zach became increasingly aggressive towards Aaron.
Me?
Yeah, I said you!
Whoa. Stop, dude.
Get out of here! Zach, get out.
The event was so shocking, the crew left the building and paused the investigation in order to regain their composure, even using some holy oil to rid themselves of any dark entities attached to them. Afterwards, they ventured to the fields where the hundreds of thousands of plague victims were said to be. Upon reaching the area, all 3 smelt what appeared to be something burning, and after Zach asked if anyone was there, all 3 heard a scream in the distance. As an experiment, Zach donned a mask, similar to the ones plague doctors wore in order to get any sort of response out of the spirits. The moment Zach placed the mask on, activity began around the crew. With their own ears, they heard a voice call out Zach, as Zach began speaking to the spirits, asking if they remembered him and introducing himself as a doctor. Nick then hears rustling behind him, followed by footsteps running along the wooden bridge before an infrared light is knocked off its tripod.
From listening to the evidence, we are able to make a path of where these unexplained footsteps traveled.
The restless spirits of Povalia are a mix of those who are frightened and those who frightened. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying the video. Number 1, the Banshee.
What'd you feel? Jesus, dude.
Dude, I felt hands with nails grab my hair and pull it.
Ireland has a rich history and an even richer culture and folklore. During a special 2-hour episode, Ghost Adventures traveled to Ireland for Halloween to investigate the various haunted locations in the small country. One of the locations was a lodge, where Zach and Aaron sat in complete darkness. The lodge is notorious for being a place of satanic worship. Throughout their time in the building, Zach and Aaron both felt an overwhelming sense of discomfort. During an EVP session, Zach and Aaron clearly heard a man speaking with their own ears, which was captured on their camera audio. Zach went outside to make sure the area was clear of any people and found no one else was with them. When he came back, Aaron was in slight distress, saying he felt something travel through them, and even showed some aggression when Zach tried to come back in the room with him. After some time, the feelings continued to build inside them, and eventually, it became clear the spirits wanted to let their presence be known. Zach and Aaron heard what he believed to be a claw move across the ground, moving glass and rocks on the floor. Furthermore, as Zach retreats from the room, his full spectrum camera captures a strange mist moving across the room. By far the scariest and strangest moment, not just in the episode, but all of Ghost Adventures, is when Aaron suddenly rushes out of the room.
Oh, what was that? Oh my god, dude. Go! Get out! Get out, dude! Get out! Oh my god. Oh my god, bro.
What, dude?
Something just grabbed me and had nails on my ear.
Aaron panicked after he felt a hand with sharp nails grab and pull his ear. Aaron became emotional and began to sob, stating he felt he had been grabbed by something truly malevolent. Later, on their way to the next location, Zach stopped the vehicle to let Aaron talk about the experience. Still emotional, Aaron revealed he felt the hand was of the devil. Then a truly disturbing event occurs.
It's not a job anymore, it's a way of life. So let's just keep trucking with life, man, because there's nothing we can do about it.
What?
So let's just keep trucking with life, man, because there's nothing we can do about it.
Zach later questions whether or not this is the rumored banshee said to wander the area. Truly a terrifying and compelling piece of evidence, and possibly the best the crew has ever captured. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because we upload new countdowns every Tuesday and Saturday. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of our other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy!